And last week we saw the Independent Electoral Commission launching the road to the 2016 local government elections. And we're going to be talking to the new chairperson in a short while of the CEO of the Independent Electoral Commission, who's in studio with us, Mosotho Moepya. In fact, we're going to talk to you right now. I thought we were going to get Rob Byrne first, but let's just jump straight into the interview. How are you doing?
We're doing well,
You're
thank
good.
you.
How did the launch go? Because I know that was when we last spoke, just before you were about to launch.
The launch proceeded very well, and we are quite happy with the proceedings and the information that we communicated.
Yeah. All right. Talk us through some of the things. I see that the date of the registration has been announced as well in March.
Yes. The first registration weekend will be on Saturday the 5th and Sunday the 6th of March 2016. I think it's an important step for all South Africans who would then be able to plan to say, on that, during that weekend, there will be one of the things they'll be doing is checking their registration details, and those that have not registered before will then have the opportunity to visit their voting station and register.
Excellent. So I know we spoke about it previously about the numbers that we were expecting, but let's revisit that once again. I mean, when we look at municipal elections as opposed to the national elections, you always see a dip in the voter turnout. What do you expect this year?
I do expect that given the level of discussions that we have in the country at the moment, the level of activism, I do expect that we may look to an increasing turnout as opposed to a dropping turnout.
Okay, so we do expect those lower numbers coming through, even though this is a highly contested election. In fact, all of our elections are highly contested, no matter which way you look at it. But this one, there seems to be so much around it, and a lot of the areas are going to be highly contested. So no matter what it is, I mean, I imagine you're hoping for the higher turnout.
Yes, our democracy, it's nascent but very thriving. And so, we will prepare for every registered voter, and it is our wish that every one of them will come. But I think political parties, civil society organizations, the media, everyone in this country has a stake in these elections, and it is our call that everyone should indeed make that call for persons that are eligible to register and to vote.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of concerns from some political parties and from some citizens as well, just saying that they feel that the IEC has very new members, and are they experienced enough to actually run an election? How do you feel?
I don't share that view, I'm afraid, I should say. The Electoral Commission has retained a substantial amount of staff, and even members of the Commission, one can say, in that respect. The nature of elections does require that you have experience and you have creativity, and the fusion of new talent as well as the retention of that knowledge that we have. I think it's a fair balance in the IEC, and in fact, if anything, I think it's one of our strengths as an institution.
Okay, so you feel confident that you have the right people in the right positions?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the date of the elections, because that's another issue that's come into the fore, and it seems as though it's going to be later rather than earlier. We do know that the time given is between May and August this year, but things are looking like August as opposed to earlier. I
wouldn't speculate. We could still have an election anytime between May and August, as the law requires that we do. It would be the ministerial prerogative for that date to be later in the period. I think what we need to concentrate on is to ensure that given the registration gap, given the work that has to be done before elections are done, that all of us, voters that are going to register, that our institution and everyone else in this country, we prepare for an election that is going to be held. We all know that election must take place between the 18th of May and the 16th of August. And in that period, we should be ready to hold elections.
We saw your Deputy Chair, Terry Tselane, saying that the verification process was the Electoral Authority's biggest challenge as it prepares for, obviously, a very big contested election. This is a delay, no doubt.
It's not a delay. It does introduce a new process that we have hitherto not had in an electoral process. We anticipate that after registration weekends, we will need about 6 weeks to go through that entire process. But after that, we should be ready to hold elections.
Yeah. Just finally, and to give us as voters an idea, any new technologies that are going to be introduced into these elections?
Yes, we can never go through an election without innovation in this country. We will have, for the first time, all electoral lists for candidates. Nomination lists will be submitted, or there will be an option for those to be submitted electronically. We'll also have an option. In the past, you could apply for special votes through email or via the internet, rather. Now you will be able to do so as well using your cell phone. You could text your application for that purpose. We will then accept and confirm again by cell phone. And this we do because there are many South Africans who may not have access to the internet, but who do have access to a cell phone.
Fantastic. Let's leave it there. Thank you again for coming in and talking to us.
It's always a pleasure.
About some, like I say, we're going to see a lot of you, and you know it as well.
Thank you.
Mosotho Moepya talking to us about the elections coming up. The CEO of the IEC, the readiness announced last week, and what we can expect as the voters going out to vote in these elections. So anyway, up to the 16th of August, you can expect the elections to take place, a date yet to be announced. Let's take a break. We'll see you after the Stay tuned.
Your World makes it its business every evening to round up the leading local stories and international news to keep you informed all the time.
Make a date with Your World every evening for all the news headlines around the world.